Welcome, everyone. This is your psychic Christine Wallace, and thank you so much for being here and listening in. If you would like to have a reading with me in your long distance, no problem. Simply give me a call at 855-70-TAROT, 855-70-TAROT, or have a look at my website and see what the pricing and options are, trustedpsychicadvisor.com. Again, trustedpsychicadvisor.com. So, in this episode, I want to talk about forgiveness. A lot of people say, if you can't forgive other people, it's like holding on to, anger, and the only person you're hurting is yourself, and so on and so on. But I have been working for people from all walks of life for the over like 30 years already. And I'm finding that people are a lot more angry with themselves than they are, in fact, with other people. For example, let's say you're like someone hurt you or disappointed you or took advantage of you, whatever the case may be. We're not as mad at the people who did that to us as we are mad at ourselves for letting it happen or not realizing what it is that happened until after the fact. And we end up starting to beat ourselves up like, how could I have been so stupid? How did I not see that? How did I let this person get away with what they did to me for as long as I did? And so on and so on and so on. Now, with that being said, this self-depreciating mentality or thought process or whatever it is that you want to call it actually starts to manifest lots of negative energy. And this is how we can go from a good place in our lives to from feeling okay, feeling confident, feeling secure, and us going into a dark, negative place. I'm sure you must have heard it said that what we think is what we become, or what our thoughts actually have the power to manifest, or our words have the power to manifest. And this is, in fact, 100% true. Because if you think about it, let's count the blessings, okay? Let's count the good stuff that we've got going on in our lives. Originally, these were once just thoughts. They were just stuff that we talked about from time to time. And lo and behold, by us, thinking about it, speaking about it, moving automatically kind of makes us also move into that direction. And we tend to manifest what we think about and what we speak about. So, for example, if we think we'll never find love, or if we think we'll never find the right person, or if we're anticipating that we're going to always get into one disappointment after another, guess what? We manifest it in more than one way, by our thinking, by our words, with our body language, and all of this ends up turning into energy. So, for example, when I say body language, that guardedness and that expected disappointment will start to radiate out from our bodies. And this is the vibe that we're going to send out to possibly a potential partner when it comes to love. If we're, manifesting that. But then there's the other side of the coin, which is being too open and not setting healthy boundaries. No matter what it is that we talk about, it's always coming down to the middle way, to be not too much and, also, doing enough, finding that middle place. And that's why healthy boundaries are super important. So we have to set those healthy boundaries while simultaneously being optimistic and speaking abundance and success in all that we do upon our lives. So imagine that each of us is walking through life with a backpack full of metaphorical rocks and bricks of past traumas, past choices, and current challenges. Some of the rocks and the bricks were put there by others. Some were put there by the system and culture we were raised in, right? And some were put there by us. Unforgiveness is like a collection of bricks we're lugging around all day, every day. Did you yell at your kid after a stressful day at work? That's a brick. Are you burning with shame because of a friend that found out you gossiped about her? Another brick. So pretty soon you're scratching and crawling just to get through the day with all of this extra weight on your shoulders. That's what I'm talking about. It's manifesting heaviness. You can choose to keep carrying those bricks, but as soon as you take one weary step after another, you'll sink lower and lower into a black pit of bitterness. And that's exactly what we don't want to happen. Bitterness is a poison that limits your capacity to give and receive love. It's nonsense to wallow in bitterness. You're only hurting yourself. And this is why so many people nowadays are talking about manifesting abundance, manifesting success, and setting the healthy boundaries and learning how to love yourself, learning how to forgive yourself. If you can't forgive yourself, how in the world are you going to forgive other people? It's so important to look at your life and yourself and remember, if you are going to be reflecting on every mistake you've ever made in your entire life, okay, and beating yourself up about it, then at least be honest with yourself and remember what your intent was. Intent is important. So if you had good intentions, then why would you blame yourself for something that somebody else did to you? That's number one. If your instincts or your gut were seeing red flags and you decided to go against it, okay, by going against our feeling about things, that's not trusting ourselves. We need to learn to trust ourselves and stop beating ourselves up for giving people a chance. Okay? Very, very important. Do not beat yourself up for trusting people that you thought you should trust. It's the other person that did the bad thing. If, in fact, you had good intentions, okay? And sometimes when you examine your intentions and you're really looking deep, sometimes they're not as good as you think they are. So let's talk about religious books for a minute, like the Bible. And let's think about the Ten Commandments or the rules and regulations of any religious book, not just the Bible, if we think about them, everything is about, doing good, doing the right things, mindful of others, loving yourself, loving others, loving your neighbor. A lot of people think that if they're following the spiritual or religious practices, that somehow we're doing something for God or Allah or whatever, your belief system is. But at the end of the day, it's good for you. It keeps you out of trouble. Okay? Let's say, for example, what I'm trying to say is, let's say, this is the where we do the wrong. This is the intention thing that I'm talking about. Let's say you made the decision to get involved with a guy that has another woman in his life, okay? Or he's committed to another woman in his life. And now, maybe there's a breakup or something like that. Okay, that's likely to happen. The odds of that happening are very likely. I mean, in some cases it works, but not always. So when we're dealing with the consequence of this pain and this hurt that we're experiencing, you have to remember that you knew what you were getting into, because sometimes we're making ourselves a little more innocent than we actually are, for example. But that's okay. You can still forgive yourself because you wanted it to work. You were hoping that it would work, but now you're experiencing the consequences of those actions and that decision. So we need to just take it with a grain of salt, forgive ourselves. Let's promise ourselves to never, repeat this mistake because it hurts us. We got hurt by not, following the general rule. Okay? With that being said, let's look at things from another angle. So you made a boo-boo, you did something for someone, or someone got away with something, whatever. Now, at this stage, you're reflecting on your past, but are you really judging the situation with the information that you have now? Did you really have that information, that wisdom, and that knowledge at the time? 9 out of 10 times, probably not. Because at the end of the day, we live and we learn. Okay? So I hope that after listening to this, we can learn to be more fair with ourselves. We are, in fact, human beings. It's human to err. It's human to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And sometimes, or most of the time, we end up being our worst critic, and we don't want to manifest any more negativity. The sooner we forgive ourselves and the sooner we can bounce back after forgiving ourselves, the sooner we can get out of a negative, toxic scenario, a negative or toxic energy, and we are able to heal and move on. Whatever it is that happened, whatever it is that you did, I'm sure you're not the first, and I'm also sure you won't be the last, because whatever you've done, I'm sure somebody else did it first. Now, that doesn't mean, you know, that you should go ahead and keep repeating the same mistake over and over, because obviously what's going to happen is we're going to get the same result over and over. So I hope that this episode has helped to enlighten you a little bit. And it's very important to try to get out of your head. You know, you are made up of three parts: the mind, the body, and the spirit. If you are too much in your head, this means that you're neglecting your body and your spirit, and many of the people that I work for are too much in their head. Remember, there's power in prayer. In prayer, in meditation, or whatever your spiritual preferences are, ask the universe for forgiveness. Ask for forgiveness. Forgive yourself. Every day is a new day to start again. And the more you drag on the punishment, like I said, the more you're dragging on toxicity. You are loved. You are loved. You are intelligent. You are blessed. Some of you, I'm sure, have a whole lot to be grateful for. Many of you have a lot to be grateful for. Maybe there are a couple of things wrong in your life, and that's okay. That might just be a temporary condition. If you find that you are in a difficult place in your life right now and there is stuff going on that you really don't understand and you need clarity, life advice, guidance, help, whatever the case may be, like I said, I've been doing what I do for a very long time. Please also search my name, Psychic Christine Wallace. Check out my reviews. Check out how happy people are right now and satisfied they are with positive changes they've been able to make in their lives. Contact me, reach out to me. I'm very happy to be of assistance. Remember to not hesitate to reach out. 855-70-TAROT. 855-70-TAROT. I look forward to serving you. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen, sending you lots of love and light and wishing you the very best of luck. Thank you so much for being here. Share these episodes with someone you know that might need to listen to some of this. Again, enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night, everybody.